We are live. Hello, everyone. Today we are going to be making some caramel apples. I've only done this once and it's been a couple years, but I was in Apple Hill last weekend with my sister, bro-in-law, and niece, and I got a big old box of apples because I was like, I could do a whole bunch of different stuff with this. So I am starting to make the caramel. The sugar is already on the stove, and I'm measuring out the rest of my ingredients right now. So I love my cookie butter salted caramel, so that's what I'm measuring out right now. Let me... I'm doing a double batch of the cookie butter salted caramel. You definitely want like excess so it coats easier and everything when you're doing the actual like coating of the apples. But I have smaller apples and I'm not doing a ton. I'm actually going to try and do a few different flavors. I'm going to try and do a peanut butter salted caramel, and also a Nutella salted caramel, I think. So I have plenty of apples to try out all these flavors. And I have made all these different caramels before, but I've only tried coating it with the cookie butter salted caramel. So we're starting with the basics today since it has been a while since I've made these. Come on. Just trying to scrape this cookie butter out of here. So for a double batch, we have 2 cups of sugar that are in the pot, in the saucepan, and they are already working to caramelize right now. Hi! How have you been this week? Thank you for joining. Can't believe it's already Friday again, and 1 week to Halloween is just insane. I feel like it's going by so fast. Joining while running errands. Oh, thank you so much for doing that. I hope the errands are going well. Just trying to scrape out this cookie butter if it wants to cooperate. My goodness. Come on. Multitasking. Always. We always have to be multitasking, don't we? Okay, I think I'm almost done. Yeah, we look pretty good. Okay. Gonna go into my next container because we need 1 full cup of cookie butter. Because we are doing a double batch. Hey, Maria. Okay, almost done. We're just getting all of our ingredients measured out for the rest of our caramel while our sugar is caramelizing on the stove. Have a good week. I did have a pretty good week. It was very busy though. It was even crazier. I feel like it just, as soon as it hits October, it's like everything is just insanity and it goes by so quick. How about you? Okay, I'm gonna level this off just with like a butter knife like this and just scrape the excess back into our little container. Oops. I missed the intro. I'm so excited to watch you make caramel. Oh, yay! Yes, I love making caramel. Do you make caramel for a lot of your stuff or not really? Yes, I'm so happy half term is here. Oh, nice. Is half term like your fall break? That's what I'm gonna guess. You're gonna teach me something new again. Okay, set that off to the side. 1 week break. Nice. That's awesome. Okay, so we have our cookie butter ready to go. We're gonna get the rest of our stuff ready. The butter wants to cooperate. Come on. Okay, so middle of autumn term. Gotcha. Okay. All right. I've only made a very basic salted caramel. Oh, nice. All right, the first time I made caramel, I was like terrified because it was like you could get burned. You could like I was so freaked out. I was wearing like long sleeves. I was like prepared for possibly getting burned. It was a whole thing. But I like to do the dry caramel method. Did you try the dry or wet caramel method? Because I prefer the dry because it has less splatters, less possibility of I feel like getting burned, at least for my experience. Okay, we're gonna have 1 stick of butter because again, double batch. And I cut it into sections so it melts down easier. Just gonna set you to the side. Okay, now we need our vanilla and cream. Okay, checking on my sugar over here. Starting a little bit of melting action. Continue that process as we continue to melt everything down. Oh my gosh, same. Dry method, yes, definitely. Okay, we need 1/2 cup of cream. So we got 1 cup of cookie butter, 1/2 cup of cream, and 1/2 cup or 1 stick of unsalted butter. So there's my little 1/2 cup there. Set that to the side. And then I need my salt and vanilla. And usually you want to have everything measured out ahead of time when you're doing caramel, especially if you're new to making caramel. But because I've made it so many times, I can like kind of multitask with it. But I don't recommend multitasking with it. But I tend to now that I've, got a little bit experience. Let's see. Where are you? There you are. Okay, so for salt, we're gonna do, put you in camera. It's a 1/2 teaspoon. One teaspoon. Because this is salted caramel to balance out everything. 1.5. That's our salt, and now we need our vanilla. Anytime I do anything new, whether it's cooking, baking, or life in general, it's surrounded by so much anxiety because anything new makes me even more anxious than usual. 100% can relate to it. I am the exact same way, but I feel like once you do it a few times, you're like, oh, I got this. And then it like messes up once. You're like, dang it, I'm back to the anxious side of myself with it. So imagine the anxiety knowing sugar burns with the word. I was literally the exact same the first time I made caramel. I was so terrified of getting burned by sugar. Okay. For our double batch, we're doing 4 teaspoons of our vanilla extract. We're gonna check on our sugar again, make sure that it's caramelizing evenly. Okay, it's still doing its thing. I'm gonna need to move it around a little bit more frequently, but we're gonna continue to get the rest of our stuff ready to do these apples. Because as soon as the caramel is ready, that is the best time to dip them because it's nice and, for lack of a better word, the caramel is like fluid, so it just coats so much easier instead of having to like reheat it. So okay. Get that out of the way. We're gonna line a sheet pan with some parchment paper. and then get that set off to the side for now. And then we're going to do our apples. What kind of container do I want? Let's do a plate. We need to put the sticks onto our apples. So let's pick some lovely apples here. Let's do like a slightly bigger one, but also I have a whole mix of kind of more medium small ones, because I did, the first time I tried making caramel apples, I used like the massive ones from the grocery store. And as soon as I saw these, I was like, these are like the perfect size, because they're not too big, but they're big enough. So I was very excited to find these last weekend at Apple Hill. Okay, giving our caramel a stir here. Okay, just continuing to let that melt, and we're going to get some of our sticks here. And I literally just got like candy apple sticks off of, I think it was Amazon. Like I said, it's been a couple years and I've literally done this one time. So I think we're gonna do 6 apples. I'm gonna do 6 in each flavor. So we're gonna do 6 for cookie butter. Oops. Okay, and then this is what they look like. And we're going to stick the pokey end, for lack of a better word, into the middle, and then just try to go down as like straight as possible. I want to make sure like it has a good grip to it. I think that's pretty good. And then we're gonna do our next one. Some of them are like just a little bit of an angle. I still try to go down as best I can, like as straight as I can, but you can see like this is a little bit of an angle, but unless you're doing these like professionally, I don't think it's too bad of a thing. Come on. Looks pretty good. I just got a few more. And again, just make sure like it's a nice grip on here. Oh, toffee apples or peak autumn. Yeah, so good. I should make some of my homemade toffee. That would be so good on the outside of these. 10 out of 10. Thank you. Beautiful. Thank you so much. 6 for me. My sister's like, yes. When we were at Apple Hill last weekend, she was like, I mean, you ruined caramel apples for me, so you might as well make me some. She now prefers mine. Let's do another small one. Which one should we do? Let's do this one. Okay, let's set you guys to this side. And give the caramel another stir. It's continuing to cook down. Okay, I need to come back to that pretty quickly. Love that. Okay. This one's a little bit wobbly, that's okay. Again, just right in the center. Try and go straight down. I try not to poke out the other end, so we just made that. And I like very, very thoroughly clean these before doing this too. Because I learned in a caramel apple class I took a couple years ago, which is the first and only time that I've done this. And this is actually my caramel. I didn't do the recommendations from the class instructor. Like they had a couple of different suggestions, but I was like, I want to test out my caramel on this. And it works really well. But you have to actually clean, like a lot of, especially commercial ones, have like a wax coating to protect the apple. It's like, it's fine. It's not like harmful or anything. You can eat it. But the caramel will not stick as well if it's on there. So you actually have to wash the apples with some like vinegar to make sure that it kind of breaks down that wax coating. so that not a ton of vinegar, just a little bit, but it'll help break down that wax coating so that when you coat the apple with the caramel, then it'll actually have a better chance of sticking and not just completely falling off. So I'm gonna set you here, and then I'm gonna bring you this way. I'm gonna bring my pot over. Let's check on our caramel again. I think we're getting pretty close. Okay. Still a few little pieces. Let's see. I'm gonna bring you over here so you can see what I'm doing. So still little chunks that we're just waiting to finish melting, and then we can mix our caramel together. And again, this is a double batch, so it does, of course, take longer to melt down 2 cups of sugar instead of 1 cup. I'll keep that in mind. I love planning to make some this week. Oh, yay! Good luck. That's awesome. Let me know how it turns out. And we do have our live again next week. I'm debating if I want to do it on maybe like Wednesday instead of Friday, like on actual Halloween. But Halloween could be really fun. I think we might do like maybe like a Q&A or just kind of hangout session, and have some like little treat things that I've found, and I just haven't had a chance to make a video about them, so we could just try those together. I'm thinking that might be next week. That would be kind of fun. I just can't believe Halloween is a week away. It feels like it was so like plenty of time until it came. We're so close. We're almost done here. Just keep moving it around. Let the heat finish melting all of the little sugar pieces. Make sure the little sugar got off my spatula too. For like, what do you mean? 8 school weeks to Christmas break, then it's back to DAV season. Okay, you taught me what this is, but I forgot what it is. But yeah, it is insane that it's like, yeah, 2 months and we're at the end of the year already. That's just wild. Okay, I think we're looking like all of our sugar is gone. Okay, camping thing, that's right, okay. I was like, I know this, but I forgot. Okay, I'm gonna turn my burner down just a little bit, because sometimes I need to add it back on after I've added some of our ingredients. But I'm gonna keep this a little ways away from here because it's gonna release a lot of steam. So when we're adding our cream, you wanna make sure you're not over the pot in any way, or else you could get burned by the release of all of the like water vapor is technically what's being released. And then quickly mix, mix, mix with our face away from the pot. Very, very hot. Even like the steam on my hand is like a little bit hot. Mix, 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 mix. Just mix until it, comes together. And this is a heavy bottom saucepan. I don't remember if I mentioned that at the beginning. I've actually ruined a pan or two because of making caramel until I got this pot. So fun fact, definitely need a pot that withstands the heat. Okay, and then we're gonna add in our butter. Tried to grab one paper towel and the whole thing started to unravel. Okay, we're mixing this. And we're also gonna add in our cookie butter, and we're gonna carefully go mix it on the stove. so that the heat can help everything kind of come together too. Scrape all that cookie butter goodness out. Okay, looks pretty good. Okay, and then I have it over like medium heat at this point. Let's bring it back over. Okay, and then just carefully mix this together. Again, just letting that heat kind of help it come back together. A little bit of patience required, but this is, like I said, my favorite caramel to make. Okay, it just takes just a little bit, and then once we get that all combined, we're gonna go back over to the counter to finish mixing all of our stuff in, and we can start dipping our apples. Yeah, the class I took was a couple years ago at the Bake Fest Holiday Edition that they used to do, and the caramel apple class is with an instructor. Her name is Riva, and she's actually done like a bunch of competitions and everything. But she was also in Hocus Pocus too. She was like the caramel apple lady that was like handing out the like caramel or candy apples that the mayor was all excited about. So if you've seen that movie, then she was actually in that movie. Just continuing to mix. Let that heat pull everything together. But if it starts to like bubble too much, that's why I'm constantly mixing it, because I don't want it to start bubbling and splattering stuff. Okay, look like we're almost ready. Oh my gosh, being in the Hocus Pocus movie is the most iconic claim to fame. I know, right? That was like, oh my gosh, that's such a cool thing. It's like an extra bonus to having her as an instructor. Okay, we look good. I'm gonna go finish mixing on at the counter. Come with me. Let's set you right here. Okay. We're gonna add in our salt and our vanilla. And there are like different caramels that you can use for this. The only thing with the cookie butter salted caramel for the ratios that I use, it does kind of like spread when you put the apple on the pan, but you can like cut it off. It makes like a little skirt if you like that. Cool, keep it on. But if not, then you can actually just cut it, like trim it off. That's what I did before. Looks yummy. Thank you. I know, cookie butter salted caramel is just, oh, still one of my favorites. But like I said, today I'm also going to be, not on live, but because that would be hours between cleaning this. And this is like my one caramel pan. But making peanut butter salted caramel as well as Nutella salted caramel. Okay, and everything is mixed. The only thing is that it does have some air bubbles in it, but the lovely thing about that is that if you decorate your apples a certain way, like coat them in some melting chocolate or, you know, roll it in peanuts or whatever you want to do, it'll hide the little imperfections. So unless you're like doing it, like I said, professionally, then you might have like a different thing you want to do. But yeah, I love salted caramel. Yes, salted caramel is the best. Hey, how are you? I'm doing pretty good. This week was crazy, but it's good. Okay, so we have our pan behind us over here, and we have our freshly mixed cookie butter salted caramel. I did a double batch of it, and this is definitely going to be more than enough. I will have extra to make other things with. And the only thing, like I said, is there's some air bubbles in there, which is not the best necessarily, but we just talked about you can like cover it up. So let's dip our first apple. I'm gonna take one of the bigger ones here. You're good? That's awesome. Wow, you've been live for 25 minutes, Emily. No worries. We're making caramel apples today, actually. Here, let's move. What should I do with you? I'm gonna need your assistance. Okay, hold on. Scrape, scrape, scrape. Just to get the spatula out of my way. Okay. We're gonna use our plate that we used earlier to do our apples. Okay, so we are ready to coat. I'm gonna tip it to the side to make it easier. And then we have our nice like secure apple here. And then just being very careful, obviously not to get my hand in the caramel at all because it's still hot. And I'm just trying to make sure everything gets coated on our apple. There's a little spot right there. And you can see all those little air bubbles, but like I said, we're gonna coat those and stuff, so that it's not a big deal. I wanna shake off our excess. There's quite a bit of excess that can fall off of this one, but shake it off for a little bit, and then we're gonna set it onto our parchment paper. And I'll show you what I mean by having the little skirt. Stay. So you can kind of see that already pooling a little bit at the bottom. As it sets a little bit, before when I made these, it made a big, just kept kind of growing. But like I said, you can either keep that if you want to, or carefully like use a paring knife to cut it off. Super easy. Let's coat the rest of our apples. And you definitely want to have extra caramel so that it's easier to coat. If you have just enough, then it makes it kind of tricky to deal with. So I'm getting the full thing coated. Sometimes people leave a little bit like excess at the top of the apple. Let's see, caramel apple. Yes, it's caramel apple. It looks so good. Thank you. Make my teeth hurt with this one. I would hope not, because I try and balance out sweetness with everything. With the caramel, it's a cookie butter salted caramel, so the cookie butter adds like a unique flavor, and the salt helps to balance out sweetness. And also the apples, highly recommend personally using a nice tart apple. So the ones I'm using are Granny Smith apples. And those ones, in my opinion, are one of the better ones because they have just a really great tartness that'll help balance out the sweetness of everything. Especially if you're gonna go crazy and add like, you know, chocolate coating and extra pieces of things on the outside. So you can do so many different things with caramel apples. What kind of stuff would you guys add to your apple? Let me know in the chat. I remember what I did a couple years ago. I think I did one with peanut butter piece or like Butterfinger pieces or something like that. And also, I think I did an Oreo one. I also did a couple decorated for Halloween too. I think I posted those as shorts videos way back when, 2 years ago. These are like, the first time I thought about making caramel apples, I was like, that sounds so cool, but also so complicated. And it's like, it's way easier than it seems. It's all about just prepping it the right way and kind of figure out what caramel you want to do. The bottom is the best bit. It's true. Double caramel, nice. Me and my mom are helping with the trunk or treat, so when they do it outside of the car. Oh yeah. I remember hearing about that. I was just at the cutoff of like when they, I think, started doing trunk or treat stuff. M&Ms, nice. Maria, I'm surprised you didn't say M&Ms. Ooh, peanut and M&M would be a really good one. Yes, Oreo would be good. Yes. Walnuts, classic fall, I feel like, for that one. That'd be nice. Or hazelnuts. Ooh, like a chocolate hazelnut, like a Nutella vibe. That's what with the Nutella one, that would be good. And I do love Brazil nuts. I used to really not like Brazil nuts. And then, I don't know, like my taste buds changed as I got older. And I was like, oh, I actually kind of like these. They're not my favorite nut, but still. I've been on a pecan kick lately. I make caramel and leave it in the fridge, like in a jar, and then pull it out and cut up an apple or popcorn. Oh, that sounds so good. Yeah, I thought about cutting up. I have 18 apples I'm doing today for caramel apples, way more than necessary. We actually have family game night tomorrow night, so this is one of our treats, but way too many for the people, for the amount of people that we have. So I'm gonna need to find some of my, family and friends to give them to. But I have still, this is like maybe a third or a quarter of the apples that I have. So I have a lot of apple projects to work with or to work on. But I was thinking like cutting up an apple, and maybe after the first week after Halloween is there's a couple of air bubbles that are bothering me. Take a little stick and poke them. Go away. That's so interesting. Okay, we'll cover it. Let's see. I was thinking about doing like an apple, kind of like how I do like the bark, like the chocolate bark, with, what is it? What is with these air bubbles? Jeez. I think this is why I didn't fully coat them before. We'll do a couple like not completely coated just to look at them and see the difference. There's little air bubbles because of the middle part right here, but that's okay. Okay. Doing like an apple bark, like you'd have to eat it like right away because it would be cut slices of apples. But instead of like when I do the cookie bark and I put down cookies and I do like the melts on top of it and everything, I thought about doing a caramel apple version. But again, it would be something you'd have to enjoy like right away because of it being cut apples. But I think I might do that. Okay, we're not fully coating this one. Stop it. Almost, but not quite. I was thinking about doing that for a fall treat because we have a week of fall stuff after. As soon as we hit like we're done with Halloween, we have a holiday series, and I call it the holiday series because it includes New Year and Christmas and fall. So I just call it the holiday series to encompass everything. So, I think that would be that's something I think like I want to try. I also have plenty of apples to test it out with, so, but it just sounds really good. Come on, caramel. It's definitely thickening up. And if it does thicken up too much while you're doing it, you could just pop it on the stove over like medium heat. But because I only have one apple left, I'm just gonna roll with it. Just get completely coated. So that's really nice too, just like a little bit of the apple exposed on top. I can get caught up in the chat. That looks so yummy. Thank you. I made my friend pay me in Brazil nuts on Silver TV. Nice. Says who? Oh my gosh, I figured you'd pop in the chat with that. Yes, my sister makes me make strawberry barks with strawberries and then melt down chocolate chips and then freeze it. Nice, that sounds really yummy. I have seen variations of that, like where people add like yogurt or something, but I'm not a big yogurt person. I feel like for me, I'm not like, I don't know, when I freeze fruit and it gets like kind of soft, I feel like I would do maybe like a freeze-dried version if I were to try something like that. Like a freeze-dried strawberry covered in chocolate. We should make that at some point now that I think about it. OMG, it looks so good. Thank you so much. Okay, so we are done coating our apples and we have our excess caramel here. I think I'm going to pop it into a container so I can use it at a later time. Either making more of these, and I just would have to probably remelt it in the pot. But like I said, it's like, for me, the best is when you coat it immediately after. And like you can see how smooth everything went on. But let's get a container before this has a chance to set. And I hear my pup complaining at me from the other room. It was actually her birthday last Sunday. My baby girl turned 9 years old. I love freeze-dried apples. I actually don't think I've tried freeze-dried apples for a very long time. The only thing with freeze-dried fruit, like, it's very particular as to which ones really have a pop of flavor. I feel like, oops, spatula sticking. Like strawberries, raspberries, like those ones are the best ones, and then apples can be like a little bit too subtle. I would just end up going for like just the regular apple. We definitely have plenty of caramel. And usually I wouldn't pour it directly into a container like this, but I want to be able to work on my other stuff after we're done with our live, getting on to our next batches. But like I said, I could probably pop this back into a pan. I haven't tried that before, but I think I could just pop it back into the pan, gently reheat it. If you heat it too fast, it could actually separate. So don't do that. But you can definitely use these caramels in a whole variety of ways. I actually have some ideas for some holiday stuff coming up. Like we talked about homemade holiday treats and everything. So I think that this, I might actually use that because I need to start filming that content ASAP. Actually have some fun ideas, like one in particular that I've never done before. I'm excited to give that a try. Okay. I'm gonna start soaking this to get it cleaned. And here's our container of leftover caramel. So still quite a bit, but like I said, I only coated 6 like kind of small medium apples, and there's definitely plenty of caramel to do other things with. So set that to the side. It's very hot. I let it sit for a while before I put it away. But let's take a look at our beautiful apples. You can see like the pooling that happens with some of them. This one's pretty big, but like I said, if you love that, cool. If you don't, then I simply just take I'm not gonna do it right now because it's not set enough, but I just take my little paring knife and then I just kind of gently cut around the base and then do whatever kind of coating that I want to do. So, let's see. Oop, I have things to catch up in the chat. Oh, you have a freeze dryer? That's awesome. My freeze dried Skittles are so good. Oh my gosh, they are so good. Oh, you can't stand freeze dried stuff? Happy birthday, Lily. Maria says happy birthday, Lil. No, she's like, I just want to go outside. You give me, oh, she says she loves you too. She just looked at me like, can we just go outside now? You give me caramel apple, I'll give you freeze dried. Yes, freeze dried Skittles are yummy. Yes, they are. I prefer dehydrated fruit. I don't even know who you are, Maria. Oh my gosh. I could take a straw and drink it. Later shortbread opportunity. Absolutely. I have actually made those before, but more frequently actually than not, I would say. I've only made the millionaire shortbread maybe like once. It was like a while ago, but I like to do a no bake millionaire shortbread, where I take like a layer of Oreos or a layer of Biscoff cookies, or just kind of like whatever store-bought cookie that you want to use. And it's a quicker way to do it, especially if people are not experienced with either baking or it just seems overwhelming. It's a really easy way to just put down a layer of cookies and then pour the caramel over the top and some chocolate. Everybody's drooling. No, the skirt. Do you want me to keep a skirt for you? She knows that she gets them tomorrow. Lily is my spirit animal. Oh my gosh. Babe, I can hear you whining. Put them aside for me and we have a deal. Oh my goodness. I figured it'd be something like that. But yeah, the skirts, like, they're not actually too bad. I feel like this one looks nice and like even and pretty. I feel like that's like one of the prettiest ones that we have here. But I just really like the size of these ones. Like I said, I did ones from the store that were like, these were probably on the smaller side of the ones from the store. They were like even bigger. And it was a lot of apple at once. So I'm excited to give these ones a try where it's a more reasonable size. So guys, can you please say caramel? Come on. At least you're in a British, I'll make my day. Caramel. Sorry. I'm so used to saying it the one way. Let's see, what updates do we have? Today's our last day of Halloween No Bake Week, and then tomorrow or next week we have our final week of Halloween content, which makes me very sad because it's my favorite time of year. But we have to hop into holiday content right after that, so keep an eye out for all of the fun stuff. Like I said, we have our live. We do have our live next week, but I'm thinking about doing, instead of like making something in the kitchen, maybe hanging out in my office, we could try some treats and just have a chat and Q&A and all that different kind of stuff. So let me know if you think that would be a fun thing to do. Haven't done something like that before, but I figured we could give it a try. Yes, I love Christmas. I do too. It used to be my favorite, but I feel like Halloween's kind of edged a little bit forward in that race, if you will. But I still love Christmas, especially looking at Christmas lights. I just feel very calm and happy when I do that. GS, that'd be fun. Okay, cool. Tally ho, what do you... Let's see, what else? What else is happening? I think that's everything. But do you guys think that we should do on Halloween, or should we do on like Wednesday? I feel like the middle of the week is just so awkward sometimes. Sometimes it works out, but sometimes kind of eh. Ooh, baked apples. I've never just straight up baked an apple. I've always like chopped it up and like turned it into something. But I do have still a massive box. I think it calls it like a half bushel of apples, which I've never known what that amount is. But I easily have, like I said, yeah, I think I took out 18 apples for today. And I think it's maybe like a quarter or a third of the apples that I have left. So it's crazy. I don't know, this made me think of them. Oh, of course, yeah. So many good apple things that you can do. But I don't think I've ever done a baked apple thing. I prefer middle of the week. Okay. Or I might switch it up to that day instead. Baked apples are so good. Dana, do you have any like recommendations for baked apple? Is it just like bake it with some cinnamon and like butter or something? I haven't done that before because I usually just bake it for like a pie or a filling or like a cookie. Homer says baked apples stuffed with honey and butter and cinnamon. Oh, raisins. I've like I'm have to be particular about raisins. I'm like I like them sometimes like usually chocolate covered raisins, but custard on top. Oh, stuff with crushed walnuts and brown sugar. Ooh, that sounds really good. So many good options. Oh my goodness. I'm trying to think of what else I want to do for all the different coatings for today for all the apples. I'll have to figure out some stuff. I might make a batch of toffee though to chop up and do some coating. I feel like those apples can be like very intense with the amount of stuff that's on them, but when I've done the toffee apple, when I tried a toffee apple before, like bought from a place, it was really good. So, oh, you have to go. Thank you so much for joining, though. I hope that you have a really great day and weekend. But I actually like perfect timing because we're pretty much right at the end of our live anyway, and I got to get to doing our peanut butter and our Nutella apples, and I will definitely need to update you guys about how those turned out because like I said, I've done this one time for coating, but I haven't tried the peanut butter caramel or the Nutella caramel for coating. I've done it for other stuff, but like the no bake millionaire bars I mentioned. US bushel of apples is 18 to 19 kilograms or 47 pounds. Yeah, when I looked that up, when it was by mass, it was like a half bushel is like 20 to 24 pounds. That sounds right. Bye, have a good day. You have a good day too. About 15 apple pies. Yeah, it would make a crazy amount of apple pies, but I definitely I'm doing like different stuff with them. I've really wanted to try making cinnamon rolls with partly like an apple filling because I've seen that done so many times, and especially like caramel over the top of it would be delicious. So I'm definitely leaning towards doing those as one of the things, and that could be part of our fall week. But I feel like I don't know. What do you guys think? Sometimes when I do like my holiday series stuff, when I actually do like actual baking, like a baked recipe or something, it seems like people are not. It doesn't like seem like it gets as much traction as decorating. So I don't know, but I like to switch it up. That's what Google says. Yeah, I had to look it up too. When I bought the box, I was like, I am curious because I'm trying to figure out how much this is because I was like, is this a good price? Did I pay too much for it? But I think it was actually a really good price for everything. I want an Asda pie now. What is an Asda pie? And I'm thinking of shop food. So many yummy things this time of year. But I'm excited to try out some more stuff. I'll need to see what other kind of ingredients I have. Ooh, a pretzel coating would be really, really good and help to further balance out whatever sweetness. I do have a lot of pretzels to use too, so that might be. I want a little bakery, all of it maple pecan plates. Yeah, maple pecan. I've been on, I feel like a maple pecan kick a little bit. Pretzels and I love little, is that, so it's a bakery? Like a bakery where you are? I've been really wanting to make some croissants lately too. Especially now that it's finally getting to be colder. It's like the perfect, fall baking weather. Except next week's gonna warm up a little bit again, but I'm excited for it to finally be cool enough to bake some bread and bake all that kind of different stuff. Plate like hair is a supermarket. Oh, okay, gotcha. Gotcha. Let's see. Lily is staring into my soul. I think I need to hop off live. I know, baby, I'm coming. Okay. Well, that is it for our live today. Thank you all so much for joining. Lidl is a big supermarket that is well known for the bakery. Oh, gotcha. Okay. Our bakeries, I don't think they're like, at least for the supermarkets I've been in, they're like, they're fine. It's mostly like bread. But it's like you have to go to more specialized places for the more fancy things, I think, like croissants and stuff. Bye bye, Lily. I love your dog. Oh, thank you. Maria says bye. She's just still staring at me. I think that's all the updates for now. Like I said, make sure to check out today. Later is the last day of the No Bake Week items for Halloween. And next week will be our last week. And lots of fun stuff coming up. But I think that I will definitely post on the community tab. Order the Mexican supermarkets. Oh, that's true. I've only been with you like once or twice. So, but they do have the conchas. Although I do prefer stuffed conchas now. Imagine buns, croissants, and donuts, breads, and pizza. Oh my goodness, that sounds amazing. That is true. Like, if we do have that kind of stuff, it's usually the Mexican supermarkets that have like the variety of things. Cookies, cakes, muffins. You guys have everything. Oh my gosh. If we have that kind of stuff, it's most like packed up, like prepackaged stuff. But yeah, good to know. Yeah, I think that's all of our updates for now. I hope you guys have a really great weekend, and it was so good to see you again. I will post on the community tab what day we are for sure doing our live, and make sure to let you know. Green apples are the best for this, someone told me. I wonder who that could be. Yeah, I think that's it for our live today. But thank you all so much for joining, and I hope that you have a fabulous weekend, and I will see you next week. Bye.